Hey everybody, this is Perch, and it's Monday, so we've got a new X-Men series to announce. This is a limited series, although is saying that; they're just saying it's a series, but it's a limited series, and I don't mean that sarcastically. It is a limited series, but this is coming from Leah Williams from the just recently canceled X Factor, and Lucas Werneck, who did the Empire X-Men. If you remember that, do you remember Empire? Is this thing where plants kind of invaded? It was like 50 events ago. Anyway, I always get sarcastic and salty about these things, and then people get really, really spicy. At any rate, Leah Williams, Lucas Werneck are putting out a event series. It's a limited series event, limited. Anyway, it's the Trial of Magneto. So this is basically dealing with the trial. Magneto is on trial for a violent death that will occur during the Hellfire Gala. Now, I'll pause here for just a moment and note that the Hellfire Gala has not actually started yet. We're a little less than a month away, and we've already had revealed to us the celebrity involvement, who the new X-Men team will be, the covers, now we learn that one of the big moments is Magneto murdering somebody, and this trial will basically divide the mutant nation. If you've been reading Sword, there's some kind of interplay with Cortez around, why should mutants be held to this rule, this standard for taking a human life, especially when some of the humans are coming for them. It seems like they're holding their. It felt like one of the kind of the last vestiges to attempt to make the X-Men into a hero team, while meanwhile they're running drugs and brainwashing children and other things. No, that's not true. I'm exaggerating. Somebody pointed out to me that my description of the Fantastic Four X-Men series was wildly inaccurate in terms of what was done with Reed's brain, but okay, sure. But one of the rules of mutant kind in Krakoa was you cannot kill a human. And so in the Hellfire Gala, there will be a stunning event. Spoilers, Magneto murders somebody. Who? We don't know. There's some speculation. Lots of people are speculating Scarlet Witch. That would be interesting. It would certainly fit from a story perspective. However, it doesn't seem likely that Marvel would want to murder off Scarlet Witch. Now, granted, they're not really doing much with the character, and there's certainly the people of Krakoa have a irritation toward the Scarlet Witch, but by the crime of murdering off a human, Magneto, if found guilty, would be tossed down into whatever mystery plot pit Sabretooth is in. Maybe he'll catch up with Moira somewhere. Anyway. The series is basically promising that this will threaten the reign of X and upend the world of mutants. With the future of Krakoa hanging in the balance, mutant kind's relationship with the rest of the Marvel Universe may never be the same. So they're definitely wording it in such a way that indicates that it could be somebody as big as the Scarlet Witch. I speculated tongue-in-cheek that for whatever reason the Red Skull shows up to the Hellfire Gala and Magneto just snaps on him. But that's not likely to happen. It is true that Doctor Doom and other dignitaries / villains are coming to this thing, but whatever. So Leah Williams is promising that her style of story and that her approach with the X Factor investigators will be picked up in this role, mentioning that fans should pick up X Factor number 10, a Hellfire Gala tie-in, and the final issue of the series to discover, whose tragic fall leads into this new X-Men epic. Basically, Leah Williams notes, when has Magneto ever allowed bureaucracy to get between himself and what's just? Well, there was a time back in X-Men 200 during a storyline, let me just check my notes here, called, it's a Trial of Magneto. Oh, interesting. Anyway, sorry. In the island paradise of Krakoa, safe haven and home for mutants, Magneto's hard-fought greatest desire of seeing his people at peace and thriving has finally been achieved. It has? Yeah, okay. But Magneto's loyalty extends only as far as it is first earned, so after the Hellfire Gala, when he learns that even a paradise could still be filled with lies, the trial of Magneto will begin. Who would have ever suspected that? Anyway. So, there you go. 5-issue series, as mentioned, on sale August 18th. This is Leah Williams' new book after the cancellation of X Factor. For what it's worth, X Factor wasn't selling great. It was, hovering pretty low in numbers. The numbers are a bit obscured, but I have some numbers, and they're very low. But and I'm seeing a bunch of people on Twitter just get shocked, like how can this be? This was my favorite book. Well, one clue is something that we mentioned during this X-Men fan retrospective. If I go over to the Read Free Comics online site, I can't help but notice that there's 1 million people who have read X Factor, and for free, pirated, and so but only 20,000 or less buying it, and I'll just I don't know why it has to be said, but if only that number of people are actually paying money for the book, and the rest are just basically pirating it, then the book's not going to survive. It's very bizarre to me to again go on Twitter and watch people say things like, "I cannot believe they canceled this book. How could this possibly have happened?" And then somewhere else further down in the thread, they talk about how there's nothing wrong with pirating. It's like, okay, you can say there's nothing wrong, but you do need to understand cause and effect. If you don't pay for it, it won't continue. So if you're really kind of hurt and outraged, the comics business, despite what other YouTubers may say, is not this big socialist empire where they're just going to fund comics that do not sell for indefinitely. They may keep them going for a while in the hopes that they could turn it around, make money back in trade. Lots of reasons why you may have a comic that's not selling particularly well that you keep alive for a while, but it's on borrowed time at that point. And so if you're a big fan of this book, you've got to hello, so, little newsflash. If you're a fan of New Mutants and Excalibur, and you love those books and would hate for those two books to go away, you might want to start buying them because they are next in this pipeline. Just saying, try and do you a favor, Marvel and folks. But anyway, but what's interesting about the Trial of Magneto is that there has been one. In X-Men 200, Magneto was basically gave himself up for this trial where he sank this boat, and Gabrielle Haler, remember her? And Gabriella Haler, sorry, and Professor X were his defense. So this was kind of a funny, it's happening in Paris, and the Fenris twins show up, and the Von Strucker twins, sorry, they show up and they mess some things up pretty good. And Magneto kind of uses a mind-altering helmet, and this leads to Magneto taking over the school. It was this kind of done in one-ish. They had led up to it. Basically, this was back when Magneto sank the Soviet submarine and killed a bunch of people, and so. Anyway, it was a fun issue. It was interesting that it was done in one issue. I suspect that who hasn't wanted to see Leah Williams tackle legal drama? Yeah, it's great. But this is the big limited event series in August. This is not the big event that apparently is kicking on in October, but it feels likely that before we get to the Trial of Magneto, we'll get more word as to what is coming in October, the bigger crossover that ties all the comics together and threatens the reign of X. Hey, where's Moira? Anybody seen Moira? It'd be nice if we could see Moira someday again. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to buy the Uncanny X-Men comic, it's kind of expensive. I think you can get it for around $50 in many places. Some comic stores will have it cheaper. I know it's included in a handful of different places. It's in some trades and some omnibuses. Joe would know exactly where to send you, but if check it out. Hey, actually, you know what? I said $50. That was for a special bound edition. If you're interested in the original Trial of Magneto, you can go to eBay, and I'm seeing them sell it for $4.99. So John Romita Jr., Chris Claremont, double-sized Uncanny X-Men 200. It's a good issue. It's some solid, great stuff there. This was I was confusing a little bit of the plot. There was this whole Avengers X-Men series from about the same time. This was the big helmet that was going to brainwash people. Take away my X-Men cred card. There you go. Trying to do too many things at once. Anyway, you can pick this issue up fairly cheap, the original Trial of Magneto, or you can buy the new version, which is it's also going to be $4.99. So you take your pick. But are you into it? Are you excited about the Trial of Magneto? Are you somewhat miffed if you're looking forward to the Hellfire Gala that they've kind of spoiled one of the big outcomes in it? I guess not the victim, but there you go. And what do you think about? What do you think about X Factor getting canceled? How do you feel about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.